Welcome back. It's prepared to tackle the second Mothra film in the Mothra trilogy. So here's the thing about this film. Technically, I've seen it once before. I saw it years ago with a childhood friend of mine. Certain scenes live rent-free in my head to this day. Because of that, I want to go ahead and take a moment to kind of correct myself, because earlier in a previous video, I can't remember which one, I said it was Rebirth of Mothra 3 that I saw. It wasn't that movie. I know for a fact it was this movie, because the moment I saw the scene, yes, the scene with the caterpillar, I knew this was the movie. I literally said, oh no, this is the scene, after so long, has lived rent-free in my head. And honestly, going back revisiting this movie some 22 years later, I didn't realize how cartoony of a film this was. I mean, the first Rebirth of Mothra had those elements, but this one goes extra. But let's be clear, I'm not knocking this film. Clearly the intent was to do something different than the Godzilla series. And I don't feel like this series is as political as, say, the Godzilla series was, especially in the Heisei era. Like, the tone and the approach is drastically different, I can't stress that enough. I should also go ahead and point out, it seems to be a thing for the Mothra series to follow a different group of children every movie. This is due to the fact this film has a different cast than the original movie had. And I'm going to assume that probably going into the third movie, it will probably be the same thing. So a lot of the primary cast we're following is not exactly the same. The only characters that will maintain their appearances from each film will be the Elias sisters, which is kind of obvious if you ask me. So long story short, get ready for mindless fun, old Mac computers, kids adventure film, and the first kaiju that's totally unrelated to Godzilla in any fashion. Alright, so I want to get something off my chest. This film has something that I'm kind of a sucker for. Lost civilization, treasures, an ancient temple. That's the stick this film goes with right here. The movie opens up pretty quick with the sisters feeling a disturbance, and it appears some ancient super beast has been reawakened, along with starfish that are attacking fishermen. Makes sense, if you're gonna go and make a movie that's geared towards children, you gotta kick it off fast, you don't want to lose their attention. From there we meet our main cast of kids, you know, kids doing things that kids do, being mischievous, calling a teacher funny names, and then they get ratted out. It's little things like this that we go ahead and keep simple to kind of give kids something to identify with, and then after that we meet a mysterious little creature called the Gorgo, which makes me think of something I would have encountered in a Legend of Zelda game that would have been very prominent to helping me out on the quest. Yeah, apparently this little guy is very essential, and the wicked yet lovable sister Velvira is requesting that the Gorgo be handed over. Velvira is tricked, and now we got another fast-paced chase scene on our hands yet again. Now the funny thing about this film is two things that I like to point out. We have this old classic take that a villain has two of the most dubious bad guys that you can imagine that are going to do her evil deeds for her. If you want to go ahead and call them evil. Then for that we find out this Gorgo creature has magical, well, I'm being generous. I'm trying not to cuss.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Our main cast is all here in its adventure time and off to a magical kingdom that sank ages ago, linked to an ancient beast called Dagara, which consumes pollution and is back. So this movie is kind of in the same field, you know, as the last one, where we're kind of exploring pollution and man's way and how we're destroying our planet. But this one, rather than logging companies, it's more so along the lines of, hey, don't pollute. And it's not as in your face as, say, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, which was basically traumatizing to young children. This film just prefers to be flat out wholesome and fun. Eventually we get our first duel between Mothra and Dagara, and this is probably one of the most memorable bits in this film that does really well, despite the fact that none of the fight scenes appear to take place in this city, which is very different from the Mothra series, because I don't believe at this point I've seen a battle sequence take place in Tokyo or any major city. It just opts to kind of take place elsewhere. Everything at this point just pops off quickly, between the battle and a fisherman attempting to abduct the Gorgo from the kids, find the gems in this temple, which sparks a conversation with a princess, and the movie kind of furthers and pushes a certain point. The kids of the future are not responsible for the destruction of the world in its current state that the world is in, and they deserve a chance, versus Velvira, who believes that she wants to protect the Earth in her own way from the humans, and her case is the children will eventually do the same as the adults had done before. Meanwhile, Mothra Leo is very overwhelmed by the battle that's currently going on, and he cannot compete as is. And then we find out the treasure is a bit more than we thought it was. If you haven't seen this film, I'm not going to spoil what the treasure is, but eventually this all leads to hope and Mothra gains the upper hand. Dagara cannot match Mothra's powers that he has gained, and can't even hide it in the water like he attempted to do beforehand. Maybe that was once a weakness for Mothra Leo, but now, not anymore. The ultimate message of this film is the kids of today will be in charge of the future. They are the future of the Earth. A message that can only be whispered to them in their youth. So revisiting this film, I honestly think it was a bit more fun than I remembered it was. I always talk about that I really didn't care for the Mothra series or really look too deeply at it due to the fact I just was not a big Mothra fan. Today, a lot of that has changed, obviously. Today, I want to know more about everything. Every series that is out there for any kaiju film that even is beyond Godzilla. And this one is just part of it. Understand this, if you want serious, dark, or gloomy, this movie won't be for you. While it has its message, you need to remember that it is more lighthearted and geared towards kids. And it presents enough for the older viewers that they can go ahead and appreciate with the kaiju battles. Again, this is all your personal taste and what you're into. Dare I say that I like this film more than the original. Both films are charming and have shared themes. It's a shame though, as a kid though, I didn't really chance this film. I'd love to say that I have nostalgic attachments to this film. Unfortunately not. The good news is, as an adult though, I can appreciate the art and the message that is pushed with this film. Give it a chance and have some fun. Just one more Mothra movie to knock down, and I'm hoping it's a fun ride as this series wraps up. And the big thing is I want to see this series, trilogy basically, just wrap up with some dignity. So far in, no regrets, and I'm loving the lighthearted series as it goes on and proceeds. One more movie to go. Join me next time as I end the Mothra series. Thank you for watching, like, subscribe, you have a great day.